Hi everybody, and welcome to the Happy Crafty Homemaker vlog 4, maybe. I'm Carrie Penny, and I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm here to share some, as soon as I turn the camera on, I'm here to share some whips with you guys. This is why I don't wear my glasses on the regular. Real life, unedited. Anywho. So as y'all know, I've been getting ready for the South Carolina State Fair. And I've got 1.5 weeks left. I have one big project that needs a lot of finishing work. A couple of large projects that need some blocking. Maybe some borders thrown on real quick. So next week will be a lot of finishing work for me. So I will be working on that all week. This week has been trying to finish, like I said, baby things. I still have knitted and crocheted baby slippers left to go. But I got a lot done as far as entries, and I've got some really good whips going here. So dig into my basket of finished projects. So earlier this year, I made a corner-to-corner baby blanket using Red Heart Super Saver plum pudding. And I just made a little matching hat. How cute. I actually like the way this one pulled. Same thing with the corner-to-corner. I like the way that pulled too in the blanket. So that was pretty cute. Today's drink is in my llama cup, and it is, I actually brought my tea up to the craft room so I could show y'all. Fig and Flower green tea, and that's by Zena's. This is really good. I really like this one. There's this one, and it's called Fruity Pebbles, and remember, Tiesta, I think, is the company that makes that one. I actually get them at my local Publix, but both of these are really good green teas if you're looking for something cold and a little bit sweet. Fig and Flower is just very pleasant, and I use stevia in mine to sweeten it. So there'll be a lot of drinking today. I'm incredibly thirsty. I've been running around nonstop, so in true Carrie fashion, I'm a little spazzy and a little thirsty. So next we have another Better Late Than Never beanie. And this time, scooch up a little bit closer. I don't know if you can really see what I did there, but I did the regular single crochet. Then I did a double crochet, a single crochet, and instead of starting the ribbing with a double, I started it with a treble that went over that single. Does that make any sense? If anybody's interested, I might try to film that. I hadn't seen that done yet. I really don't want to be a tutorial channel because there's so many amazing tutorials out there, and I'm not the best at explaining things. So but something like that, which would take just a moment to do, I thought that was a very pretty. I wish I'd come down one more and with the orange, but I did run out of orange finally. So that is gone. I have one ball of Lion Brand Fun, which is like 81 yards of this like neon orange. And then I have my normal like pumpkin burnt orange colors still. So I'm very glad to be gone with the super bright orange out of my stash, with the exception of that one ball now. And I'll relink the pattern for the Better Late Than Never beanie down below. It'll also be on my written blog over at the Happy Crafty Homemaker at Blogspot. So, yay! Here is the Ernie sweater. In the pattern, it's actually striped like Ernie from Sesame Street's little sweater. But I liked I liked the little crocheted ribbing and I like the shape of it, so I thought I'd just make one plain. This is another Red Heart Super Saver. This one's in jade. I don't know how familiar y'all are with the Super Saver weights and textures, but some colors actually are very pleasant to work with. They're very soft right out of the gate. And jade is one of the colors that's super soft out of the gate. The one that I find the worst to work with immediately is like charcoal gray, I think. It's the one that almost looks heathered but is super dark. I don't see any over there on in my little group of Red Heart, but yeah, just something to keep in mind as you're picking up inexpensive yarn at the big box stores is touch them, because some of them, turquoise is another one that's very soft, and that one's even thinner weight wise. It's very peculiar. So while we were waiting for the updates on Hurricane Florence, my husband and I spent a lot of time at our computers seeing if we were going to get anything or not, and we didn't. Just for the record, where I am, we got a couple inches of rain and a little, light branches and leaves and pine straw, but nothing horrible here this time. So, we're very, very grateful for that. But, yeah, while I sat there watching all the news reports and getting all the updates from the various news sources and national and local, I decided to work on a hat and scarf set for the South Carolina State Fair. This pattern is Le Monde Hat by Little Theorem. I can't read backwards. But I've made this hat before. I actually made it a couple years ago when we were in Vermont. And I gave my copy of my pattern away because one of the ladies was admiring it and I just finished it. So I had to reprint it and I fell in love with the pattern. If you read my written blog, a couple months ago I did She's a Betty or something like that. And it's a split black back hat like this. I really love this style of hat because it splits across the back of the neck. So like if you've got longer hair like mine, you can put it in a ponytail back here and the hat splits around it and it still keeps very conformed to the head. Love how my clips are making little cat ears up here. But it's a very, and you can wear it a little bit further back on your head and get your ears covered without, having something down to here. I just find the fit to be very, very pleasant. I really love the fit of these. But I had a hat, K&K, that I showed last week was going to be my hat for the knitted hat category. And I actually knit a huge 10-foot Doctor Who scarf. And that's going in the knitted scarf categories. But I still had hat and scarf set left to go. So I actually kind of did my own pattern. I love how the striping for this just turned out perfect. To match the hat. I'll have the written directions for it on my written blog. So if you want to, make a cowl that matches your little hat, you can do it fairly simply. I mean, nothing about either pattern is difficult or hard. Obviously, this is super simple. So that'll be available on my blog. And my last finished object, the only thing I need is a little bell to hold the end over. Whee! But yeah, all the other ends are woven in except for these, and these will be used to, I may have to tack the tip and add a bell. I'm not sure yet. But this will be going in the category of novelty yarn, obviously. A couple years ago, I actually bought a whole bunch of Holiday Boa by Bernat, Starlet by Mary Maxim, Bernat Holiday, like this, in the white with sparkles in it. And I bought it all with the intention to make Santa hats for me, my husband, and my 2 stepsons that live here in town, and for their partners, obviously. And because adult Santa hats are kind of itchy and they're kind of uncomfortable, and all of us have problems keeping them on, and we do, big family dinner, and it's just kind of fun to be goofy and wear Santa hats, and we drink butter beer with butterscotch schnapps in it, so we just kind of have a fun time with it. And I've been meaning to make hats for a while, so that's actually the first one. Hopefully I'll have 5 more done by Christmas night this year. Good news is they weigh a lot. It was 9 ounces, I think, for this, because it's double stranded through here. I kind of used a pattern for this one. I'm not going to do this pattern again. I like I started off changing the pattern. I knit 2.5 to 3 inches, folded the brim out so the bump side, the purl side, was showing. Not that you can see that, but I did the knitted in hem, which turned it up and leaves it, as stretchy as you can be there. And then I knitted, I don't know if you can tell the difference in the bulk, but I knitted an extra 2 rows in the white before I joined in the red worsted weight and the red novelty yarn to do this. I don't mind how thick and heavy it is. I do want to do the next one I do a little bit more slouchy. This one will probably be mine just because I really did make it fit my head. So this was done on size 9 needles. I'll go up to 10.5, but the pattern I was sort of kind of following, it was going to make way too short of a hat. I really wanted something with some slouch and flop. The next one I will do the same type of cuff, because I really do like this brim cuff. You can see where the decreases started here, and it does have a slow decrease. What I think I'm going to do next is go much longer up and do a standard round hat decrease. So it'll kind of be more like a tube sock hat that slouches down and back. And that one will either have a bell or a pom-pom. This one really needs something very heavy to hold the weight down, because the fabric on this is very dense. So yeah, like, I'm very excited with this. I just rambled on for like 5 minutes about a Santa hat. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about the way that turned out. So 5 more left to go. I'm not going to worry about the grandkids yet, because kids outgrow everything. And right now there's just the 2 of them. So I guess Tater Tot will grow into Nilla wafers as she grows out of them. Like, I could just keep making her new ones, but ain't nobody got time for that. And they kind of just go off and do their own thing and play with toys anyway, because they've got 3 sets of grandparents they go and see on Christmas Day. By the time they get to my house, they want to play under the Christmas tree, watch some TV, and leave the adults alone while they eat. So, but yeah, Santa hat done, and I will get a bell to put on it before I go and drop it off at the fairgrounds. And that just leaves me with my 2 whips. Oh, I do have an acquisition to show you. I have an acquisition to talk about and an acquisition behind the camera to talk about. But I've got another 2-strand hat that I'm working on. It's almost done. But I don't have... This is the leftover off-white that I've been using with the brown and orange hats. And I found this just kind of randomly sitting in my craft room. So 2 for 1. Get rid of it all. Use it all up and put it to a good use. And the other whip, and this is just kind of a recipe. There's no specific pattern for it. It's double crochet, 2-strand together. And there are a couple different charts that tell you how wide to make the base circle. and how deep to make it from tip to end. So I'll see if I can link one below. If not, just Google it. Google is your best friend. So this is my next whip. You can hardly tell what it is. It's a Christmas stocking though. I like the fabric. Actually, out of focus again. Super fuzzy? Not fuzzy. Okay. The life of being lazy and filming. So the fabric is actually super cushy, and this is not something I would have ever considered making even just a Christmas cardigan out of, but this, right way up please, Bernat Happy Holidays. I have to say, I mean, I've worked with the green one. I've had one of those 3-year whips that, it's not that I'm mad at it or anything, I just haven't thought to work on it. It's hiding in my bedroom floor somewhere, so I never think about it. But the back of a pillow is being knit in a seed stitch, and yeah, I never really noticed how much I liked the fabric. I don't know if that one just feels different or what, but there's, I don't know if you can see how thick that is. Cover my face. But it makes it's a very thick fabric, and it's very schmooshy. It's a very soft schmooshy. I've actually bought cotton acrylic blend sweaters that feel very similar to this, but this one is 98% acrylic and 2% metallic thread. I mean, this is basically 100% acrylic. But I would totally make one of those you wear it 2 days out of the year sweaters out of this. For the work that goes into it, I've just never considered making one of those. But yeah, I bought this forever ago. It's been sitting in my stash. I had 2 balls of the green and 2 balls of this. So I actually have a pattern pull to use with the same white that's mixed with this Fintex faux fur, which was a mill end that I got years ago. I paid $1 for a bag, not that big, half filled with white, half filled with pink, and then another bag that's half filled with tan, half filled with chocolate. I paid $1 a bag, for 6 bags of it. So I've got a lot of faux fur sitting around with no use or no purpose right now. So I'm glad to have that being used, and I'm glad to have this being used. After I'm done with the Santa hats, I'm thinking about coming back and doing some Christmas stockings out of the leftover. I'm going to have a lot of leftover white faux fur and the Bernat Holiday. So I think I'm going to come back and do some just basic red knit stockings or crocheted stockings with that as the cuff on them. So I'm kind of excited. I'm already starting to plan further down the road. Ay, ay, ay. Whew. I'm not sure what just flaked into my eye. I'm wearing far more makeup than I normally wear. Sure, that's very attractive. I think I may have just had some mascara flake off in my eye, which is really odd because I'm using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which normally does very well. Okay. Wow. That happened. So, I want to talk to you. Those of you who started reading my blog or have gone back and read my blog from the beginning know I was working on a Harry Potter blanket. It's going to be gifted to a friend of mine who just had her first child. I still need to block the blocks, border the blocks, and put them together. But I have to admit, unlike my other crocheted intarsia projects, I got lazy on this one. There was a lot of one single crochet spots of color, and I was getting tired of one here and then one 2 rows up and over, and I couldn't really strand that inside the crochet. It was getting too bulky, so I just stranded on the back. So I've got to cover the back. And Joann's just had their licensed fabric on sale, so I got this flannel to do the back with. In the store it looked black. In real life it is blue. So that's interesting. That happened. But I'm gonna push forward because it's all I can do at this point. This was the only black flannel Harry Potter fabric I could find. So this shall have to do. Aw, you can tell I got 2 owls here. I really, this color blue is just going to have to be like my channel color from now on. Everything on my blog is pink, but I think I need to change over to this semi-Tiffany's blue color, because that's been in every single video now, whether I film upstairs or downstairs. It doesn't hurt. Look, my room is that color. That's Lamley. Now that I gave you vertigo and motion sickness. So this is one of my acquisitions. I'm not counting it towards my stash budget for the Great Craft Home, because this is literally all to go on the back of a blanket. But that happened. So the other thing I got was actually the Yarn Swift from Knit Picks. So every craft room I've had until now has had full length walls. Because I'm in a frog, I've got the little slanty walls in this room. So I've lost all my vertical storage. And I've got a tabletop Swift that I've used for years. It works fantastic. I love this thing. It was a gift. It was a very sweet gift. It was made by the woman's father. It was part of a mystery swap, Secret Santa kind of thing. Unfortunately now, yeah, I have 2 desks in here, so technically it's not a problem, but I have stuff on my desk constantly. Literally constantly. Between paper crafting and hopefully sewing and just storage, there is stuff on my desk constantly. And when I'm not using that Swift, I have nowhere to store it. So I went ahead and bought the one from Knit Picks that bolts onto the desk and is an umbrella Swift instead of a tabletop Swift. So I'm going to package my old Swift up, and I'm going to put together a package that is a giveaway. TBA. Maybe I'll do a Christmas giveaway. Maybe I'll do a 100 subscriber giveaway. I don't know. But I want somebody to get this Swift and love it and use it. It is used. It has been loved, but it has also been super taken care of. So I might have to do something with it to gift it, some way to gift it to somebody at some point. Just because I pulled it out to wind the knit crate yarn and realized I can't. Even trying to use it as a Swift was very difficult. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take that. It just has screws. It just pops together real quick. So I am gonna have to get rid of that and use the umbrella Swift, which I did use. I finally wound the pimento yarn from this last knit crate, so I can start working on that shawl, and it worked a dream. So if you're in the market for a Swift and want an umbrella Swift, by all means, the one from Knit Picks is fantastic. The other thing I need that I'm going to have to replace, it's just getting old and broken, and it's not an industrial one to begin with, is my ball winder. So if any of you guys have a recommendation for a ball winder, excuse me again. Like I said, I just finished lunch right before filming this, and I'm running out the door as soon as I'm done. It'll probably be tomorrow before I can get this up. If you've got a recommendation for a ball winder, let me know in the comments below, because I really need a good one that is not predominantly plastic gears. I've had no issue with this one. This is a no-name brand one that I got from Amazon probably 10 years ago. Maybe 9 years ago. I got it when I did my second pair of socks, because I needed to wind the yarn for that. So, and socks were one of the first projects I tried. So, my first sock did not turn out very well. I somehow Kitchenered my toe this way instead of this way. Don't ask me how I didn't notice it, realize it, anything else. I sewed my toe together the wrong direction. I'm not sure where that sock is. It was made out of Lion brand, Sockies. I've actually got some of the worsted weight color over there, but it's like a blue with tiny little lints of wine and burgundy colors. Very pretty. It's a very, very pretty yarn. But it was just very funny to, yeah. Like I said, I wish I had a lot of my mistakes still so I could share with you guys, because I know a lot of people are just starting out, or they've been doing it for years and feel like they can't share, and it's no. I mean, even my Santa hat's not perfect. There are major changes I would make to that. But you just roll with it. Keep cruising. I'm still not sure on that stocking. I've never used that kind of a heel on a sock before, and I think the shape's kind of weird. So, we'll see as that progresses what happens. But, yeah, ball winder suggestions that are, will hold up. I've seen mixed reviews on the Knit Picks one. Like I said, my no-name one's been fine, but it really doesn't do... Even trying to do this is why I need a new one. When I was trying to wind the Knit Picks balls, I was realizing even that, it was a 100-gram ball. It kept sliding and slipping. So I really need something to kind of, I would really like one that does larger weight. The max on mine appears to be somewhere around 75 grams, which is awfully small. I haven't had that many issues with it until now, but the older it gets, the worse it is. And I know it wasn't made for a high capacity. Probably 100 grams max was what was written on it at the time, but it's been so long since I bought it, I have no idea anymore. Yeah. So let me know in the comments below. Yeah, so to prevent further just at you, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to attach 2 little short wee videos that I took yesterday of my life trying to craft around here. I did not have tater tot yesterday. It was just me and the cats, and you would think nothing would get in the way of me trying to knit and crochet. It was pretty entertaining. So, yeah. Oh, my earrings all. You tell my fall allergies starting to kick up. So, ta-ta for now. Auf Wiedersehen. Hopefully I'll be back next week, and the following week is fair turn in. So my video, I will probably actually have 2 videos up that week, if not 3, depending on when my Knit Creek gets here. So the first week of October will be a lot of fun. I'm gonna hopefully get a haircut that week, and yeah, it's gonna be, I'm just getting the ends trimmed up. It's been a year since my last trim up, and I need one. So yeah, I'm already planning out 2 weeks in advance because of everything I have going on. So, kind of excited. Makes it sound like I have a real life, y'all. So if you guys have any questions for me, if you have general questions about knitting, crocheting, don't ask very many sewing questions because I'm just not that good. Questions about me. So, yeah. I will talk to y'all next week. I hope y'all take care, and hugs and kisses. So, random scene from my morning here. Does anyone else, you just randomly start a project and think, hey, I'm just going to get this started so when I have time to sit down and knit and crochet, I'll already be started and I can just rock on through. And then yarn barf everything. And find yourself sitting down, drinking coffee for far longer than you meant to. Yeah. Pippin decided he wants to curl up with me. Yep. Yep. So I had a few minutes before I started making dinner and thought I'd lay down or sit down and work on my stocking a little bit. Instead, I have one cat, Curzon, sleeping on my pattern, and the other one laying in my lap. Curzon, what you has to say for yourself? What you has to say for yourself, beautiful? Nothing.